Hey guys, it's Jenny, and this is our social class. Excuse me, allergies have been bad today. And today we're going to be doing some postures that actually you can be doing in bed. I just wanted to give you guys some different lifestyle yoga postures that are more than just like a typical or traditional practice. So like if you're traveling and you don't have much time, or you're, doing a few postures when you wake up in the morning, or a few postures before you go to bed. These are some of those things that you can be doing. So we're going to be doing some of these postures that you can be doing in bed, but also we're going to be using the wall today. So even if you like have a few minutes, or you have a tall headboard, or your bed's up against the wall, you can be doing some of these postures too. So we're going to go ahead and chit chat for a sec. And today just talking about it's so interesting to me how, we'll know things in our mind, but we won't have the embodiment, the true knowledge of it, where we actually feel it in our body. And that's the embodiment. That's why the word body is actually in the word, because it's in the body. We're feeling it in the body. One of the things for me that has been just deepening and deepening and deepening more and more recently is just, who am I? And we've talked about this several times in different yoga classes, and potentially even in this one on multiple occasions, that I am literally, first and foremost, quite simply, the expression of divinity, an divine expression of being. I am a pure manifestation of that energy. I'm not a branch off of it. I'm not like this thing that's reminiscent of it. I am a pure embodiment of it. So I'm literally a manifestation of that energy. And most of the times we treat ourselves the way that we see ourselves through our mortal eyes, our earthly eyes, through the old social programs, the old things, the old stories that we've told about ourselves of who and what we are, the stories that other people told about us, the dogmas, the old outdated beliefs, all of the things that create the construct of how we perceive the self. And when you only apply that vision of yourself as being the divine expression, the expression of the pure creation energy of source, great spirit, God, whatever verbiage you can utilize that makes you understand the fullest expression of that thing, that is what you want to consider about yourself all the time. I am that. I am that I am. That's the great I am. So like when we use those most powerful words, I am, followed by any statement, you're literally co-creating that for yourself. And something I think that we have to remember about that expression of divinity that we are is how much choice we have, how much we get to choose. Like just a simple story for you this week is that I took my motorcycle safety course this week, and it was really hard. And they really want you to walk your bike a lot first. Walk your bike. Take several steps before you pick your feet up. I'm used to riding my dirt bike where I just pick my feet up, put them on the pegs, and go, to ensure that we had our balance and our alignment before we would even put our feet up on the pegs. They wanted us to walk the bike a little bit to ensure that we had that, aligned balance before we would get going. Because the straighter you start, the straighter you're going to continue on. If you start a little wobbly, you're going to continue a little wobbly, right? And so I kept hitting my shins on the pegs over and over and over and over again. And that first night I came home, and they were so bruised. It was insane. And it was something I was thinking, and this can even sound a little woo-woo or crazy to some people, but we get to choose. We get to choose what we are going, the quality of energy that we're going to engage in, the way that we feed our body and ourselves verbally, with our beliefs, with our truths that we choose to engage in, and all of these things. That is the co-creator aspect. I am this. I am that. I am not this. I am not that. We are literally co-creating our experience. And, so I recognized how before I took my pants off that night, I was like, oh God, it's going to be so bad. Oh my gosh, it hurts so bad. They're going to be horrible. They're going to be black and blue. They're going to look like this. Sure enough, I took my pants off and they did. They looked just like that. And I was like, whoa, this is going to get really bad in the next couple days. Well, I had reflected on that, and the next morning I woke up and I thought, why am I choosing that for myself? Why am I saying to myself, I have to experience this way? I'm going to be horribly bruised because I'm usually bruised very easily, quote unquote. I'm going to be terribly bruised because I could feel the pain and I know that it's going to have a result, a physical result. I do this, so I'm telling all these stories about it. I'm even visualizing in my mind, like, what is this bruise going to look like? Take off my pants. Sure enough, there it is. They're horrible. I knew they were going to get worse. Next morning, like I said, I get up, I'm thinking about all that, and I'm like, why am I choosing that for myself? Why am I saying to myself, why am I telling this narrative about what the bruises are going to look like? I'm visualizing them. I'm talking about how bad they're going to be. And then, of course, I take my pants off, and sure enough, there they are. And a lot of you guys are probably saying, well, that's just like physical results, and that's just how it works, right? Well, maybe it did used to work that way for me because that's the choices that I made about it. That's the way that I chose to engage in it. That's the story I told myself about it. That's the visualization that I coupled with that verbiage and all of those kinds of things. Because it's what society tells me, because it's what we say is how it's going to be, right? Because in my past, that's the experiences I would have. So that morning I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do that to myself today. I'm not going to sit here and tell myself a story about that. I'm going to choose to tell myself my body doesn't have to respond to that experience that way. My body is perfect because it is an expression of divinity, because it is source energy, pure source energy, first and foremost, all the time. And I'm going to choose to relate to myself on those terms. And so I said, okay, today I recognize that I engaged in a narrative that was not reminiscent of my truth. And I'm going to choose not to engage in that narrative any longer. I'm going to create a new narrative for myself. I said, whatever has occurred is going to be healed. My body knows what to do to heal itself, and I trust it to do that. And whatever experiences I have today that I, used to have maybe potentially believed would cause further damage, would have made the bruises worse, would have created only more trauma on my skin and on my body, I'm going to choose to believe that I'm impervious to those kinds of experiences, and I'm not going to choose to be damaged by that bike today. I am going to choose to allow my body to be in its perfection, and I'm going to radiate from that energetic space. So every time I hit my chin on the peg that day, which happened a few times, and I mean, there were a couple times where I was like, oh my gosh, like the eyes water. It was so painful. And I said, I'm not going to choose to engage in an old narrative. I'm going to choose to recognize that my body still knows how to heal itself, regardless of the pain that I'm feeling and the things that I'm experiencing in this physical realm. I realize so much more can happen in the spiritual realm. I realize that because I'm that perfect expression of divinity, that I can manifest perfectly if I choose to. And I'm going to choose to manifest perfectly. And I'll tell you guys that when I took my pants off the second day, I was just kind of like, it was an experiment for me, just like everything is for us here in this time and space before we know what's going on, honestly, most of the time. And I pulled my pants up and those bruises were almost gone. I mean, I was stunned. I showed Jason and I was just like, wow. And I'm not telling you guys that to be like, oh, everything's so mystical and crazy. That's just the nature of things. That's the nature of the universe. That's the nature of who and what we are. It's just a fact. It's just truth. And you can choose to accept it or you can choose not to. And you can live your life according to that truth, that knowledge that you are that source energy, or you can choose to acknowledge or engage in your life in a way that says you're not. And so that was on Wednesday and Thursday that I had those. Wednesday was the worst. Thursday was when I pulled my husband, but actually it's almost gone. Today is Saturday, and I'll show you guys my shins. Like, you can barely see where it was. And this was actually super swollen. It had a huge goose egg underneath it. Totally smooth, totally normal. You can see a little bit here. But my body knows what to do to heal itself. And it's the knowing inside of me. It's not just knowing. Like, some of you guys might be hearing me say this and literally be like, that is such bullshit, and you can choose that. Like I said, if you want to choose not to live your life thinking that you're not source energy and that you're not a pure, perfect expression of divinity, man, it's your choice. You can do whatever you want to. But the point of me teaching you guys and doing this stuff every week is to help you guys live your life with more ease and to open you up, to awaken you to your own power of your own being and the way that you can choose to engage in this time and space. That's really it. And this is just a validation for me to show me, I think, at this time and space of where I'm at, all the things that are opening up for me, that yeah, I get to choose. I get to choose. I get to choose the narrative. I get to choose the story I tell about things. I get to choose my truth. I get to choose all the things. And when I choose the thing and I feel it in here, I really believe it. I feel it in my heart, in my soul. I know it to be true inside of me. The thing clicked, right? I no longer just say, oh, I'm this expression of divinity, but it's not in my heart, right? It's in my heart. I feel it. And that's the reason why I think things like this can happen. It's when we really fully give ourselves, surrender to the truth of what we know to be true. What does your soul space say is true for you, right? Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. What is what's true for you? And you need to give yourself over to it. Fully trust in that. Fully release your faith into that thing. We think that miracles were these things that were just reserved for certain people, or only certain people can do it because they're special, or even just like the prophets, the way showers that came before us to show us, they came to show us the way. They didn't come to show us what they could do and that they were so special and they were the only ones who were capable of doing the thing. No, they came to show us what we can all do, what the power that's inside of each and every one of us, that we're all those children of God. We're all those children of source, divinity, the expression of that, pure manifestation of that. First and foremost, always, that's my identity. I am that. That's where I am. And so when I choose to live my life with that truth in my heart, that truth in my being, and all of the choices that I make that reflect that truth, that is when incredible things can happen. Like literally, I think before, if I had gotten those bruises and I had just chosen to continue to feed that narrative, and by probably today, I think, probably by Friday and today, they would be looking very worse. Because it's usually like what would happen in the past. I would get a bruise like that. That's so horrible first day. And then by the, second or third day, I mean, they look, whoa. I mean, just beyond insane. I mean, I would look like, and they were already black and purple on the first day. So just, an example for you guys. Like, it was really cool for me. I thought that was an amazing thing. And then I realized it's not amazing at all. It's just truth. It's just fact. It's just the way that the universe functions, and I can choose to engage in that, or I can choose not to. So I just want y'all to be aware of that, that when we claim our truth, when we claim the I am, when we say I am that expression of the thing, that source energy, that ultimate creator, I am that. That is inside of me, seeking to be express itself into this time and space, then I get to choose everything that reflects that truth. Every choice I make can reflect that truth. They can honor that aspect of my being first. And that is when I think ease is so prolific in our lives. We can live our lives with ease. We can live our lives in so much beauty. Everything is what it's, available to us. Everything is what its highest potential could be. That's when we can access that, but not before we feel it in here. Not before we really truly feel it. The embodiment occurs. So we open ourselves up to the embodiment, right? So taking it beyond just a thought in the mind, the thing that I like to say because it reflects the values that I like to say that I have, but to seek the embodiment. So today during our practice, as we're engaging in these things, it can be a lifestyle practice. You can be doing every morning, every night, right? This is stuff I can do if I don't want to have a full traditional yoga class experience for myself. Maybe that's boring for me, but I can still engage in these postures during the day that are going to open me up physically and energetically, emotionally, that are going to give me new space within my being, that are going to allow me to have time for integration and embodiment to occur. All of that stuff. So today, during our practice, we're going to be just seeking that open space for embodiment to occur. We're giving ourselves room for things to shift so that that internal knowing can occur. So whatever it is, like if that's something that you are finding to be challenged by, that you know the thing in your head, but you can't quite feel it in here yet, whatever that thing is for you, I want you to bring it to your mat today. I want you to bring it to your higher self. I want you to bring it to that divine aspect of your being, that God source energy that manifests and radiates through you. I want you to bring it forward towards that part of your being and say, I'm ready. If you're ready, of course, I'm ready to understand. I'm ready to embody. I'm ready to feel it in my heart. Okay? So let's go ahead and get settled into our easy seated posture. Closing the eyes and dropping the shoulders back and down. Coming long through the spine. Lengthening through the crown of the head. But tucking the chin ever so slightly back and down. Allowing the head to hover over the heart is hovering over the belly, and the belly is hovering over the sits bones for that beautiful, long, energetic line. And just taking that breath a little deeper. Make sure that belly is rising up away from the body on the inhale and taking the navel towards the spine on the exhale. Already drawing your attention towards that invitation to embody, to integrate, to feel the thing inside of your being. So much more than you think you are. It's time to see yourself with those spiritual eyes. Take a couple more deep breaths here. And then gently fluttering those eyes open whenever you're ready. We're going to move into a gentle warm-up before we start with some of those postures. Take those hands outside of those hips, gently framing the body. Fingertips are resting into the earth, and just close the eyes for a moment and continue to ground your energy into the earth. Remembering this is my time, this is my space. I'm not here by accident. This was intentional. My personal vibration of that divinity expressing itself through my humanity is what the world needs from me right now. It's what the world needs. To suppress myself, to deny myself, to deny the God within me, that source energy within me, is to deny the world of that incredible resonance, that vibratory expression that only I can emit in such a unique and incredible and powerful way. So unique, so rare, can never be replicated. On your next inhalation, super slow and gentle, we're going to inhale and lift those arms overhead, caressing our aura the entire way up. Take those palms to touch and then turning them away from each other. We're going to exhale super slow and gentle, ground to the energy all the way down. 2 more times. Inhale, palms come up and just caressing the aura, feeling into the quality of your magnetic vibration, your unique energetic expression. Palms come to touch, and exhale, turn them away from each other and releasing those fingertips back towards the earth, grounding your energy all the way down, feeling it. Relax. Ground. Align. Inhale, palms come up, lifting those arms overhead. Feel into the quality of your own energetic expression. Exhale, turning the palms away from each other, grounding the energy all the way back down. Keeping those eyes closed, fingertips grounded into the mat. Take a couple deep breaths. Super slow and gentle, open up those eyes. We're gonna keep that left leg bent, or the right. You can come to either side first, just depends on what feels good and safe to you. I'm starting with bending my left leg. It might look like my right leg to you guys. Bending that left leg. Sole of the foot is going to be resting against the bent right leg. So we're going to rest on the thigh, that upper thigh of that right leg. You never want to put any pressure on your joints. And of course, during our yoga practice, we're never pressing into pain, tingling, or numbness. So be self-aware, take care of your own body, and ensure you're never doing any of those things. So never putting any pressure on those joints. The sole of your right foot or your left foot is just going to be relaxed and facing towards the wall behind you. This is kind of that fishtail posture. So we're going to swing our left or right hand behind the left or right foot. Take the opposite hand to the outside of that left thigh. For me, I'm swinging my left hand around, right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh, and then gazing over your left shoulder if it feels safe on your neck. And just breathe into the body for a moment. If your neck is compromised in any way, you've had any kind of neck surgery or anything, you can just gaze into that neutral space, which would be just over that left knee. We always want to really protect the neck, take care of the neck. Really slowly and gently, we're going to untwist that spine and release those hands. And we're going to take this posture to the other side so we can align both sides of our body. This time bending the right leg, take that sole of the foot towards the left wall, bending the left leg, sole of the foot, parallel to the back wall. Resting that top of the right foot on top of that right thigh. Swing your right hand behind your right glutes. Left hand comes to the outside of the right thigh, and then gazing over the shoulder if it feels safe on your neck. If it doesn't feel safe on your neck, keep your neutral gaze. Really slow and gentle in your exhalation, untwisting the spine. We're going to take those legs, come back into an easy seated posture. Inhale, arms come overhead. Exhale, drop those hands. Your thumbs are going to be towards the back. Fingertips are going to be towards the front. You're going to inhale, twist to the left side. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Continue to twist the spine as deep as feels comfortable and safe. You can keep the eyes open or close them. Might be easier to keep them closed. Keep those elbows up, those arms, forearms, or excuse me, those biceps are parallel to the earth. Cannot talk today. Inhale back to center, super slow and gentle, releasing those hands down onto those knees. We're going to come into our Ujjayi breath for a minute. So just closing your mouth, taking the tongue to the roof of the mouth, just behind the front teeth, creating space in the back of the throat. Inhale. Exhale completely, all through the nostrils. It's going to be an audible breath, sounding like the waves of the ocean. This is our Ujjayi or oceanic breath. Some people call it the Darth Vader breath. Ensuring you still have that strong center line of the body, nice straight spine. Sits bones are grounded into the earth. Two more deep breaths. And then on your next inhalation, gently allowing those eyes to flutter open whenever you're ready. We're going to come up onto our hands and knees now in our tabletop position. Make sure your shoulders are stacked on top of your wrists, hips are stacked on top of your knees. Take a moment to come into posture. Ensure that you're nice and aligned. The navel is drawn up towards the spine. This is not a passive posture. The hands are engaged, pressures in the fingertips of the thumb, the bottom edge of the hand. The middle of the palm is tilted up. So you're creating that nice strong foundation for this posture. Spine is nice and straight from the tip of the tailbone to the crown of the head. And we're going to start those cat-cow stretches. Inhale, lift the tailbone. You're going to find that the belly naturally wants to draw itself down towards the earth. You're going to lift the gaze. Hold that posture for a moment and just breathe into the body. Inhaling and exhaling slowly through the nostrils. Exhale. We're going to tuck our tailbone, and you're going to find that that spine naturally wants to round. Press those hands down into the earth, really lengthening through those arms, taking the chin to the chest for that cat posture. Again, the navel is drawn towards the spine. Allow that movement to be like the wave of an ocean, beginning at the tailbone and working towards the crown of the head. Inhaling into that cow. Exhaling into your cat. And you can really warm up that spine, that body here for the rest of our exercises by moving as fast or as slow as you need to. Remembering that the faster you move the body, the faster you move that spine, the more it's going to warm up, allowing for more mobility, depth of movement. Come back into your tabletop position. We're going to come into some deep sweeping hip circles. If you want to keep your hands here, that's totally fine, but my arms are a little bit long, so I'm going to walk them forward just a tiny bit. I'm going to shift my hips to the left side. Then I'm going to exhale, drop those glutes back down towards the heels, swinging the hips around the right side, forward, left, back. Continuing on, taking those deep sweeping hip circles, we're going to inhale from the front to the back and exhale from the back to the front, matching our breath with our movement so that we can get the very most out of these postures. One more time, and then finding yourself at the front of that rotation, we're going to draw it in the opposite direction this time. This time dropping the hips to the right side first. Glutes come back towards the heels, swinging the hips around the left and then the front again. Continuing on with that deep sweeping hip circle. Close your eyes and allow this movement to become meditative. This is one of those great ones. It's actually really good to do before bed. So even if you have a little spot on your floor that you want to jump down and do these deep sweeping hip circles. Inhale and rise back up into that tabletop position. We're going to take our knees towards the edge of our mat now. Toes are going to come to touch, pressing our glutes back towards our heels. We're going to drop the belly and the heart towards the earth as we lengthen through those arms, reaching those fingertips all the way up towards the top of the mat. Finally, releasing that third eye, that forehead down into the earth. You can gently rock that forehead into the eye or into the earth for just a moment. That third eye space, that's your voice of your own intuition. What's your intuition? That's the voice of your soul. That's that place where that God energy resides, that divine energy, Great Spirit. It's that beautiful light that exists within each and every one of us. I'm willing to hear. I'm present to listen. I'm ready to know. Everything that comes from seeing myself as that divine manifestation, that direct expression of source energy. I am the creator. Good Spirit moves through me. Everything I do. Now I get to choose. And in this inhalation, we're going to walk our hands over to the corner, right hand corner of our mat. You can take that right hand and gently rest it into the earth. Left hand can rest on top of the right hand. And breathe into the body. Super slow and gentle, walking the hands back to the center, both of the fingertips of both hands reaching towards the top of the mat. Fully surrendering to those higher aspects of our own being. Fully surrendering to the I am that exists within each one of us. It's not the failures that we are afraid of. It's if we're afraid of being that highest and greatest sense of our own being, that powerful essence that exists within our own rib cage, within the skin. Energetic expression. And the next inhalation, walking the hands over to the left corner of the mat. Left hand resting to the earth, right hand gently resting on top of the left, releasing the forehead back into the earth and breathing into the body. Very slowly and gently on your next inhalation, walk the hands back towards the center of the mat. Taking several deep breaths. Then on your next inhalation, rising up onto those hands and knees into that tabletop position. Drop those glutes down into the earth, swinging the legs around in front of you so that we can come into some of those exercises that you can actually do in your bed. So this is just a gentle butterfly pose. And you can do these in any order, and literally like the way that I do this stuff, different postures are gonna reach out to you at different times. Different postures are gonna feel really good to you at one time over another, just because it's what you need in that moment. And it can change. And that's why we want to experience variation. We don't want to just stick to the same postures all the time. You want to expose yourself to new postures throughout so that you recognize when it's time to move on from some and to engage in something else. You know, all of those kinds of things matter. So we're going to take our feet, press them together, the soles of our feet, draw those heels in towards the body. And you can take the hands and gently rest them around, clasp of hands around those feet. You can take a few gentle bounces here through those knees. Close the eyes. You can do all this stuff in your own bed. You can wake up and do these postures. You can lie down, do these postures before you go to sleep. And then inhale deeply. Exhale, you're going to release those elbows into the earth, in those forearms, or onto your bed. And you can take some pillows here and stack them up in front of your head. So if your head doesn't find the bed, when you hinge forward from those hips, you can place some pillows here to kind of allow the bed to come higher to meet you where you're at, so you can be really relaxed in the posture. And then just breathe. We're not going to hold it as long as you might if you're in your own bed. But if you're in your own bed, you can hold this posture up to like 2 minutes. Just allowing your body to open up, to relax, to release the tensions, to unfold. So continue on. Take a couple more deep breaths here. In through the nose, out through the nose. Really slow and gentle on your next inhalation, pressing into the palms of the hands, lengthening through the arms, walking them back up towards the body, rising back up into that easy seated posture. You can take your hands to the outside of your knees and really slow and gentle pressing them back together until the soles of the feet find the mat. So we're going to come up on our knees now. We're going to come into our child's pose, baby pose. So you're going to take those knees together and the feet together, toes to touch. You're going to press the glutes back towards the heels. You're going to drop the fingertips down towards the feet. So those fingertips are going to be pointed down towards the wall behind you, and then releasing the forehead into the earth. Gently releasing them onto the bed. You can even shift your hips side to side here a little bit. And breathe into the body as you take that gentle shifting motion, inhaling on one side and exhaling on the other. And as you shift that weight side to side, you're going to feel your forehead gently massaging itself into the bed or into the earth. Stimulating again that third sight, that sixth sense, that place of intuition. Your sixth sense is really just that spiritual vision. To be willing to see beyond the physical and into the spiritual. Keeping those eyes closed, just breathe into the body a little bit. If you do this pose for like 5 minutes a day, it's super calming for the mind and it's great for your digestion. It elongates the lower back and it opens up the hips. So if you have any of those areas that are compromised in your body, this is a beautiful posture to take. Super slow and gentle. On your next inhalation, you're going to draw those hands forward to frame your forehead. Inhale, press into the palms, lengthening through the arms and drawing the forehead away from the mat. We're going to come into what's called our frog pose next. So if this is a posture that you can come into comfortably, if not, you can just stay in this baby pose posture. But if you can, we're going to come up onto our hands and knees. We're going to walk those legs out with our knees bent. The feet are going to be flat, parallel to the wall behind you. And you're super slowly going to draw yourself down onto those forearms. Now that might be as far as you can come in your frog pose. You can even support your body with some pillows. Drawing that mattress a little bit closer to the body to support you so that you can fully relax into it. But if you can come all the way down here, you can even lengthen through those arms, reaching those fingertips all the way towards the top of the mat. And just breathe into the body. So wherever your frog pose is today, remember, we're not trying to do the splits. It's not important to try to force ourselves into a posture that doesn't feel safe. Breathe into the body. If you're feeling any tension in those hips, breathe into the hips, open up. Coming off of the forearms whenever you're ready. Pressing the palms into the mat. You're going to draw those knees back in, coming up into your tabletop position. And now we're going to come into that Malasana posture, that Malasana pose. They also call it a yoga squat sometimes. So you're going to take those feet about hips width distance apart. Toes are going to be out at a 45-degree angle, releasing the glutes towards the earth. Nice straight spine. You can take your elbows to the inner parts of your knee, not on the knee joint, just inside the inner part of the knee, under the joint. Hands can be in prayer pose, or you can take one hand, like your right hand, and wrap it around the front, the shin bone of the left leg, and swing the left fingertips into the sky, gazing upward. Feel safe on the neck. Close eyes and breathe into the body if you want to here for a moment. Exhale, release the left arm. Take it to the opposite side. Right hand grabs onto the shin of the opposite leg, that right leg. You can keep those elbows inside of those knees if that feels better to you, or you can swing up through the right fingertips, gazing upwards if it feels safe on your neck. Close your eyes and breathe into the body. And exhale, swing that arm back down. Take those hands underneath the heart space, directly on the ground. And then release the glutes down into the mat. And we're going to swing back onto our back. So holding onto your shin bones, we're going to roll back. Use your core strength so that you come vertebra by vertebra, releasing the spine down into the earth and tucking the knees into the chest. Closing your eyes, breathe into the body. We always finish our practice with this movement, but you can do this movement anytime and just embracing yourself. You can really wrap those arms around those shin bones and give yourself a squeeze. If you're feeling that temptation to indulge in those societal standards and the old stories that you used to tell about yourself, and you're not feeling so great about what you are, remember who you are. Remember who and what you are. You are that divine manifestation, that you are that beautiful expression of humanity, that unique expression that will never, ever, ever be seen or felt into again. And then whenever you're ready, grabbing onto the shin bones, you're going to rock and roll up and down on that spine until you pull yourself upward into a seated position. We're going to start those lying down stretches. So if you have a headboard on your bed that's tall, or a wall that your mattress is up against, or you want to lay on the floor before you hop into your bed, you have a free space on your wall in your bedroom. What we're going to do to come up on the wall, because this is something that not everybody quite can understand how to get their glutes up against the wall, we're going to stack our hips here. So you're going to press both glutes up against the wall. So like I'm laying on my right hip. That right hip is resting into the mat. My knees are stacked on top of each other. Left glute is pressed up against that wall as well, and I'm on my right forearm. I'm going to drop myself down onto the earth, and I'm going to swing my legs up and around onto the wall. And that should literally leave like no space between your glutes and the wall. You should be right up against it. But if you find that you need to do any little movements to really align yourself into this posture, then feel free to do so. First posture, super easy, legs up the wall. You can place your hands on your belly, on that place, just under your diaphragm, where that solar plexus chakra is, the way that we perceive ourselves. And really feel that space, visualize it growing, that beautiful light, becoming more bright within, recognizing the truth of your being, that you are that incredible manifestation of source. Gently resting the palms of the hands on the belly, close the eyes, and breathe into the body deeply, in and out through the nose. Breathing deeply, surrendering to that higher aspect of our being, and inviting the embodiment, the integration to occur, whatever level of that you're ready for, not trying to rush anything either. Remembering everything happens on its own time, everything happens when you're ready, and when it's going to make the best difference for you, when it's going to create the highest availability for you energetically. Gently opening up those eyes, we're going to move into our next posture with our legs at the wall. So this time we're going to drop the knees, bend them out to either side of the walls next to us, pressing the soles of the feet together. It's like a butterfly posture, but on our backs. And so you can just drop those heels as close to the glutes as feels comfortable and safe. You can even gently press into the inner thighs of the legs. And breathe into the body. You are so much more than you realize. You are so much more than you've ever given your self credit for being. You are just as special as everybody else. You have all of the potential that anybody else has. Don't forget that you are worthy and you are valuable and you are just as much that expressive source as every other person. Nobody's better than you. Nobody's more deserving. On your next inhalation, take the hands to the outside of those legs, pressing them back together. Lengthen through the legs. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to bend our right knee. Take your right hand to the inside arch of that foot and wrap the fingers around the outside edge of that foot. And you're going to draw with gentle pressure, never pressing into pain or tingling or numbness, just until you feel that sweet spot. You're going to draw that thigh down towards the earth, the knee down towards the earth, opening up through the right hip. Breathe into the body. That left arm can be extended, palm of the hand can be face up or face down. That pranic side of our body, the energy comes in and up along the right side of the body. How we receive information, how we internalize things. What are the stories you tell yourself? How do you internalize your experiences? How do you choose to see yourself in these experiences? On your next exhalation, you're going to lengthen back through that leg, releasing that hand from that foot. You're going to take it to the opposite side. Drop that left leg down. Take that left hand to the inside arch of the left foot. Wrap your palm around the undersole of the foot. And drop those fingers around the outside of that foot. Pull that leg down with gentle pressure. Opening up now through the oponic side, where the energy moves down and out along the left side of the body. Do you let go? Do you let go of the past, the old stories, the old narratives, the beliefs, the old truths that no longer serve you? Have you let go of the need to please other people? To make other people see you from a certain perspective? To let go of all of the things that are no longer serving you? On your next inhalation, lengthen through that leg, releasing that hand from that foot. And on your next exhale, we're going to take our left hand across to the right leg, and you're going to lift that right leg away from the wall. You're going to grab onto the underside of the calf of that leg and gently draw it forward until you feel that gentle pressure, that gentle stretch in the back of the leg, that hamstring that gets so tight. A lot of us have that sciatic nerve issue, that life nerve stuff. The sciatic nerve runs really close to the surface of the skin, down the back side of the leg. It can become very inflamed and irritated when those muscles are tight and not relaxed. And we're not stretching. We do a lot of seated postures or prolonged standing during the day. If you can stand to take that leg up forward just a little bit more as you breathe into the body, feel free to do so. If not, just stay where you're at. And release that leg whenever you're ready on your next inhalation. And then taking the left leg forward, right hand comes to the back side of the calf and gently draws it forward. So you feel that gentle stretch along the back side of the leg, opening up through those tendons and the musculature. Breathing into the body. And whenever you're ready, release that leg. Take it back to the wall. We're going to bend our knees now. And we're going to shift our legs towards the right side. So you're taking a gentle twist here. The soles of your feet are going to be resting on the wall. Those legs are going to be stacked on top of each other. Gently twisting through the abdomen. Shoulders are going to be grounded into the mat. Gaze is directly upward into the sky. Arms can be extended, palms can be face up or face down. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, drop those legs towards the opposite side, the left side this time. Inhale, back to center. This time we're going to take our hands to the inside edges of those feet. You're going to press those knees down towards the mat, or towards the earth and the bed beneath you. Opening up through both hips now. Exhale, release those feet whenever you're ready, and you're going to swing those legs down to the right or to the left side. You're going to press into the left or the right palm that's the highest away from the earth, so whichever one is elevated, you're going to press into the palm of that hand and draw yourself upright onto that forearm. Take those legs away from the wall, coming into an easy seated posture with the soles of the feet gently resting into the mat so that we can complete our practice today. So super slow with grace and ease. You're going to take those arms forward. Fingertips are going to be directly forward with the wall in front of you. Use your core strength so that you can, with grace and ease, very gently release the spine down into the earth. Inhale and take the knees into the chest and give yourself a squeeze. Holding on to just the right leg, inhale, lifting up through the left. Exhale, super slow with grace and ease, releasing it all the way down into the earth. Lengthening through the right arm, reaching out through those fingertips. Left hand comes outside of the right thigh. To pull that leg across the body, keeping both shoulders grounded into the earth beneath you. You can shift your gaze over the right fingertips if it feels safe on your neck. And breathe. Untwisting the spine with grace and ease. Inhale, take those knees back into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze and then holding on to just the left leg this time. Inhale, lifting up through the right. Exhale, relax it all the way down into the earth. Reaching out through the left arm this time. Taking your right hand to the outside of the right thigh and pulling it across.
for that supine twist. Gazing over those left fingertips if it feels safe. Very gently with grace and ease, untwisting the spine. Take the knees back into the chest. Coming into your happy baby posture. Taking those hands to the outside edges of the feet, drawing those knees in towards the armpits. Take some gentle movement here by rocking side to side and back or forth and remaining in stillness. Really slow, with grace and ease, whenever you're ready, releasing those legs down for your final Shavasana or corkscrews. Arms framing the length of the body, palms can be face up or face down. Closing your eyes, relaxing into the earth, breathing into the body, sinking into the earth beneath you on every exhalation. Breathing deeply. Feeling into the energy of your own being. Don't undervalue yourself. You are the universe expressing itself in the most unique and unrepeatable way. Miraculous never happens on accident. It occurs when a dreamer takes the time to cultivate the atmosphere with faith in order to experience something that surpasses what is imaginable.
Coming back to the body, back to the breath. Draw the knees into the chest one last time, rocking and rolling up and down on the spine so that we can complete our practice today. Coming into that easy seated posture, we're going to finish our practice with 3 long set ums. I am truth. Truth is my name. Truth is my identity. That truth is that I am the direct expression of divine energy, source, great spirit, God, higher self energy. All the time. All the time. Take those hands into prayer pose. Tuck your thumbs into your best bone. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And inhale to begin. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and please remember who and what you are. I'll look forward to seeing you guys next time. See you later.